I go, what? All right, there we go. And we do that. We put that in tonight. They say you can see the universe in them. That's how old they are. We're going to talk about 2019's Uncut Gems, which is spelled Jims. Russ, I was surprised that you agreed to watch this movie. I've seen it a number of times, Uncut Gems. It's about five guys named Jim. How they're uncut is, pretty self-explanatory. But yeah, what did you think of an hour and a half of Dong?
It wasn't what I was expecting when I first turned it on. I thought, I don't know what I was thinking, but seeing all those gyms doing the propeller and that one
Right?
scene where it had the three guys right next to each other and there's just like a spinning fan. I could feel
Blowing
the
the lady's
breeze.
hair back. Yeah, right?
Yeah, I could feel it. So I was like, this is
Yeah.
kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
No, wait, we
No
did Uncut
CGI.
Gems.
No CGI in that. Oh shit. Is that what I was supposed to watch? The Adam Sandler 2019 amazing film. I hear Sonia calls you her uncut gem. Is that accurate?
I don't want to say yes or no because either one is bad. A bad
Just just
talking point.
leaving anyway. I think I wrote the note five different times throughout my watch of this movie. Who the fuck can live like this? We're gonna dive into it. This movie is like a 2 hour long anxiety attack. Uh, this watch through, I felt like I actually really felt the slowed down moments, like I could catch my breath. Kelly watched it with me, definitely agrees. Like, this movie is fucking tense. And especially when you get done with it, after you finish this movie, you don't walk away thinking, like, huh, well, that was good. You kind of walk away like, do I need a shower? Like, I feel like I'm sweating from watching this movie. What? Go ahead and give us a rating and a grading. What did you think?
Okay, my second watch through in this year. I think I watched it this year, right? I don't know. Hadn't
Really?
been that long. Um and
We are in August already.
the
Uh,
first I know, right? The
Almost over.
first time I watched it, I was blown away. Did not expect anything that I was watching. I had no idea why it was even called Uncut Gems and just heard that it was pretty good and that the people who recommended it didn't want to spoil anything. And I was so stressed out the whole time. Like I can't think of another movie where I had more anxiety. Um the second watch through though, maybe your experience was different because I had already seen it and nothing was a surprise that time around. Yeah, it was still like, why? Why? No, don't the whole time. But um but I didn't feel that like actual tense in my chest the second time around.
Right.
Um Acting was still great. Story was still great. I think they nailed what they wanted to do really well. I would highly recommend the movie if you've got the stomach for that kind of thing. I'd give it probably an A minus. I think it's Adam Sandler's best role he's ever done.
Is best.
Yeah.
Wow. Better than Jack and Jill?
Yes.
What about Hubie Halloween? Better than Hubie Halloween?
Better than Hubie Halloween.
It's interesting that after Pixels, another Adam Sandler fucking amazing role, that movie's dog shit. Uh he made a deal with Netflix. All his movies would be released on Netflix, and like Netflix was gonna cash in on, Mr. Comedy. But first these guys, the Safdie brothers, did a movie called Good Time with Robert Pattinson, who, click the link, Batman, Not bad. The Batman, whatever it was. Uh, I haven't seen that. Have you watched that movie because you watched this one and found out about it?
Good times? No.
Good time. No
Good
S.
time.
Good time.
Good time.
Me neither.
No.
Haven't watched it, but I really want to after seeing this and reading how that movie made all these people want to work with these guys. It sounds similar to this. It sounds like a prelude to it. But yeah, I definitely, I'm right there with you. I might even go so far as to give it an A. The acting in this movie, it's funny. I don't want to get to it too quick, but we might as well. The Oscars for this movie, not one mention of Uncut Gems for the entire thing. No, no, nothing, nothing. Not even an adapted screenplay. Uh, but the best actor winner was Joaquin Phoenix for the Joker. So I thought that's a tough one. But I don't know. I feel like knowing Sandler and him in this movie, he kind of, I feel like he gives it a run for the money. For he at least should have been in the top five, at least.
Yeah, who else was even mentioned that year?
A bunch of fucking idiots. Nobody good. Nobody good. Now there was one or two other good ones. I think Parasite won for best movie, which leads me to another thing I don't want to get into too quickly. I actually want to leave that for a little later. But 2019 movies, the polarizing year this was for just like sequels and redos versus actual new intellectual property. Really interesting, but let's not go too fast.
We talked about
Um,
that before when we did Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I think, right?
yes, 2019 did give us
And
Once Upon a
and
Time in Hollywood.
and Leo was nominated that year too for Best Actor.
Was he?
Yeah.
Pitt was,
Also
right? For
Adam
supporting
Driver
actor?
for
Right,
Marriage
for
Story.
Marriage Story. Did you ever see Marriage Story?
Nope.
Me neither. I feel like it's going to be a fucking tearjerker, and no thank you. Um, this movie, though, Uncut Gems, Gems, I guess. I don't know. Uh, yeah.
Uncut Gems.
Who the fuck can live like this? Do you watch the movie? And I couldn't help but think, like, is this isn't his everyday. This cannot be his everyday. There must have been an entire year leading up to this moment, especially when you recap. Like, did you catch why Arno is has hired these guys to get his money back?
Has hired those specific guys.
Well, no, just to me, this was, I think, the first time where I was like, oh, Arno gave him the 100 grand in order to get this gem from Africa. I think that's what he finally borrowed the money for, was to get this gem over, and he's got this entire plan to send it to auction and all that shit. But Arno wants his money back and he's not able to make it happen because every time he gets some fucking cash, he's placing bets and shit.
Mm-hmm.
uh, that degenerative gambler gene, which Norm Macdonald used to talk about, very funny, but he admitted to having it. Who do you know that's a consummate gambler?
I'm not going to say any names, but
Okay.
you don't know him. I know a guy, and I was actually just talking to him today. And asked him, how much money do you think you've lost versus won in your lifetime? And he said, well, I don't know. That's hard to do, but I think, probably about 1,200,000, maybe a little bit less, has passed through my hands in one way or the other. And I'm probably down 250,000. And then he said, but I'm not counting this year. And I know that this
Well,
year he I think he was exaggerating, but he said he lost $500,000.
Dude, how? How?
He sold property and then went to Vegas and was really dumb.
I don't my closest brush, or maybe not my closest brush, but my most what I've learned from the most is unfortunately my grandfather got to a point in his life where he figured he'd take his retirement check, save the bare minimum he needed to survive for a month, and every other dollar he took to a casino to try and get ahead. And he never did. And did this over and over for years, unbeknownst to many people. And learning that, I was like, just imagine what you would have done if you would have just lived comfortably. But then again, no thrill. And I guess that doesn't feel much like living after a while. I don't know. You take all the addictions, gambling's one of the rougher ones. And a story like this, when you're borrowing. I mean, throughout the course of the movie, he does the Michael Jackson necklace. He borrows it from that kid and then pawns it so he can place a bet. What happens if you lose that bet? You're just, what? I'm gonna trade you a fucking watch for this priceless thing that you gave me? Like crazy, crazy. Immediately gets Garnett's ring and is like, I'm gonna go place a bet. In fact, I'm gonna undo my old bet and make it a $40,000 bet on this crazy spread because he's got the numbers in his mind. Dude, he would have won like a quarter of a mil from that bet if I was doing calculations right or more. When they're in the car and they tell him that they stopped that bet, I was like, oh, dude, that's gotta feel like just, don't you want to be like, well, you're a fucking idiot. I could have paid you back. You have
Right.
stopped this. Like,
And then on top of that, they take all his clothes off and lock him in the trunk of his car.
in the trunk.
Like he was on cloud nine. And then they're like, no, no, no. You actually did not make that bet. And we're taking everything you have on you right
Yeah.
now
I
and
want the underwear
locking you
too.
in the trunk. Yeah.
Dude, honestly, when he is watching himself win that bet in the back of the car, and then he's like, change of plans. His reaction to that ecstasy he's feeling, I was like, dude, Sandler is really fucking good in this role. It cannot be understated just how well he embodies this guy. He doesn't pull any bullshit. Like I don't, I felt like he deserved to be nominated.
I would agree. Yeah. I would not have been so stressed out if he wasn't doing a good job at it, you know? Like you
Hmm.
were invested in him, even though he's not even that likable of a dude.
No.
You like him. You want him to come out on top. You like just please have this work for him. I need to feel good, and
Yeah,
it
no,
never does.
nothing does. And so, yeah, and his interactions with his children, like his little boy sees him watching the game and not paying attention to the kid. His middle kid, the older boy, he's got something with him and chip off the old block or whatever. That's like the most endearing parenting he does. And it's still like, that's a little scuzzy. You already taught your kid, I bet 25 bucks on this game. I'm gonna make 50 bucks. It's like, are you in grade school or middle school? Like, you're fucking betting? And then when he tries to have a moment with his daughter, I'm like, oh, this guy just fucking pathetic. When his wife tells him, like, I think you're the most annoying, I I was like, fuck, dude, she's got the nail on the head. I don't even want to punch you in the face because I don't want to touch you. I thought, I said when the movie was over, I'm like, the only person who won is his wife, who no longer has to deal with this shit in her life. She's, and Kelly didn't like that, but whatever. I stand by it.
So you give it an A?
Yes, yeah, yeah, definitely. And I thought watching it, I didn't have any expectations again. I didn't remember everything from the first time, but I find this movie to be very satisfying, especially when you consider the landscape it was on. Like 2019 is the year Endgame came out. Like, let's just go over it now. Let's fucking go over it now. So, Endgame comes out 2019. The Rise of Skywalker, The Lion King live action remake, fucking Frozen 2, Toy Story 4, another Spider Man, the Aladdin remake, fucking another Jumanji, and although it was a good movie, Joker. It's a redo, kind of, but it's really good.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, Joker's got its own class, but like so many just blech, it's just rehashing the same old shit. And fucking Mark Hamill drinking milk out of a bird's nipples is like, dude, come on. Give me a break
Was
with
that
this
even a
shit.
bird? It was like a penguin cow.
Whatever that thing was, it's fucking ridiculous.
And he looks like this
Ridiculous.
homeless, grubby, like
Yeah.
he actually
Yeah.
looks perfect for being stranded on a rock for the last 50 years or something.
It's ridiculous. But it also gave us Parasite, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, uh, to a much lesser degree, Ford versus Ferrari, and The Lighthouse. Did you ever see The Lighthouse with Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe?
Is that the black and white?
Yep.
I did not, but I've heard great things.
Yeah. Kelly watched it and told me to skip it unless I want to see mermaid vagina. And I'm
Mermaid
like, I
vagina.
saw The Shape of
Yeah.
Water. So, I saw
Maybe I
Merman.
did watch it.
Yeah. Because
Uh,
mermaid vagina jogs your memory.
there was like yeah,
Never
yes.
forget your first mermaid vagina.
It's not a mermaid. It's like this crazy person that this guy keeps locked in his. I think maybe I did watch it. Um,
Yeah. I never saw it.
and but there might be a different movie that's like same premise. If it is the same movie, then um, yeah, you could skip it.
I did. In fact, I did skip it. But it really, I think it shows you the landscape we were on with all these sequels and rehashes. Those are the top movies of the year. Are these just like, here's the same old shit? Oh, look, it's 20 years later. Here's Lion King for a more sophisticated audience who can watch YouTube at any time. It wasn't as good, but this comes out and it's like, dude, what a great idea these guys had. And of course, it's partially based on their own lives and people they knew and people their dad knew. But to come up with this character of just this high end dealer who is fucking addicted to everything, like addicted to everything.
Yeah,
Speaking of
to
which,
to paint a real life picture that kind of relates the same guy. I was at a craps table, blackjack table, something like that. He's also there playing. And as he's playing, he's got his phone out because this was not a real gambling table. It was just like you can gamble as much as you want, and if you come out on top, you win a prize, but it's not actually for money kind of thing. Um,
gotcha.
but he's got his phone out as he's doing this, and on the phone, he's playing poker with real money, and he's got like $200 in at the moment. And I was like, are you gambling and gambling?" And he's like, yeah, it's just me and my buddies. And I was like, "How are you doing?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm up right now, 700 something dollars or something."
Dude. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. Money is never been that free flowing to me to think that I can just throw it away, but I'll come up later. I'll figure out a sure thing. Maybe I don't know sports enough. Maybe that's what it is. Anyway,
Yeah, I
you're
mean
not
this
a
this
lady.
guy's not that well off either, but just
Yeah, there's a reason
stuff.
why he gambles like a fucking degenerate. Uh, what do you think goes through the mind of a spouse when you find your significant other naked, locked in the trunk of your vehicle? What
And he
what
and he's
level of
like
realism?
he's like, it's okay. I got him. You can go. It's okay. And she
What?
just stares.
Yeah,
Never doesn't say anything. She just stares at him. I think I would
no,
do the
yeah,
same
no.
thing.
I think that absolutely is a moment where you're like, I am making the right decision and ending this relationship.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Got to just do what I got to do for the kids. Also, like his kid, when the guy whose bathroom he uses, who it's funny, you get a little glimpse of that guy a little later on as another jewel dealer in that building. Uh, when he gets the cat out of the bag that he's got a lady living in the apartment, like it's very interesting. And I'm sure we both have our own stories of realizing, when you're super little, your parents are superheroes. They are do no wrong. You can only learn from them. And then there's definitely an age where you reach and you think, oh, they're real people. And then an even step beyond that where you think, they've got major fucking problems. And you realize everybody's got major problems. But a dad like this, like, so sad for a son to realize his father doesn't ever tell the truth about anything.
Yeah. When he says, who's the hot girl living in your apartment? And it's like, what are you talking about? Um yeah, I mean, I don't really want to talk about too much, but I definitely went through that phase of my parents are superheroes and now
Hmm.
they're just people.
I think everybody does. Most everybody does. There's always crazy stories you hear, but I just think like most people have a point, especially as parents, where they stop and they have maybe a day where they've gone too far, something like that. We probably know somebody who has, and they're like, hey, let's dial it back. Let's be a parent to these kids because they deserve it. Not this dude.
What would you what
Not
would
this
you
fucking
think
guy.
if you were one of Elon Musk's kids? Just like you see him maybe once a year, your mom's got $1 billion to just do whatever she wants with, and you everyone wants to know who you are at school and asks you all these questions, and like your dad really would be a superhero fantasy person who is also that way to you. Like you never even
Right.
see him.
But in my experience, maybe I'm just cynical. That could definitely be, but I feel like those kids probably don't have like, oh, what's your dad like and shit like that. They're probably like, I hear your dad's a fucking freak, or you know what I mean. Kids are harsh, and kids who don't have what they have probably treat them very poorly, and I think it's probably pretty fucking rough. But you do get to go home to a basically a fucking modern day castle and enjoy the benefits of a parent with $1 billion. Like I think they're detached from reality in such a way that they never know, life is different for different people on different levels. Uh, Society has created different experiences for everybody. There's a big lump of us right in the middle who gets a very similar experience, but some people out there have it much worse and some people out there have it much better. And I think the kids with the best parents are parents who want to be parents and want to do well for their kids and provide them with a world in which they're going to succeed. I think that's honestly the best you can do as a parent. Just my 2 cents. What do you think? How are you going to raise your
I
kids?
don't even
when
know.
when are they showing up?
I don't even have to know.
Why don't you breaking news on this show? When's Russ having a kid? 2 years?
I don't
One
need to
year?
worry
Yeah, you've taken care of it. Your audio did go out. Yep. Nope.
What happened?
There we go. What happened? I don't know what happened.
Hey, there we go.
Nope.
What
Nope.
happened?
So, what happened?
Best parenting. Can you hear me?
I mean, did you say anything between best parenting and can you hear me? Because if you did, I couldn't. But if those are the two things you said, yeah, I
No,
can hear you. You're in, you're out, you're having a
nah.
problem. Let's talk
I
about
don't
the
even
weekend.
know.
Let's have a 30-minute diatribe on the
It's
weekend.
so okay. I like
You ready
weekends.
to move on?
I
You're
like
like
when
parenting,
they're
not so good.
happening.
Let's talk about weekend. Yeah. Can you feel your face when you're with them?
No. Um, that's the only thing that I know about him is that I can't
Yeah.
feel my face
Also,
when
he's a
I'm with
motherfucking
him.
star boy, and he'll make that pussy pop.
I
Um,
don't know. I don't really know The Weeknd that well, but Kevin Garnett and The Weeknd both in a movie together. It's kind of cool, right?
Absolutely. Like Kevin Garnett, anything is possible. I'm on a boat, Lonely Island. Anyway, yeah, Kevin Garnett, I thought pretty good in this. Believable as himself rather than like a version of himself, or you know what I mean? A lot of times, unexperienced actors are in a film and you're like, oh, they're removed, just a level removed from it. I felt like he was actually in it. I wonder what kind of coaching, for lack of a better term, that seems goofy if it's a basketball player, but how they would get him to kind of just drop the pretense of knowing he's on film. And I thought everybody did a real good job of making this seem like you're just going along for the flow. There is no setup, there is no acting. It's just here's this crazy fucking world you're in the middle of.
Yeah, there was so many parts involving his character where I was just like, that's messed up. Give him his gem back. But
It's magic.
yeah, I guess it was magic. It really helped him out. What
He needs
Demani?
that.
Demani? Dem
The money.
Demani? Demani.
It's actually Damani. It's Damani, but when I
Demani.
kept looking at his character name when I was researching, I'm like, oh, it's like Damani. Count Demone.
Demani? Demani.
Damani. Damani.
Demani.
Like
Demani,
demonic,
come
but
on.
Damani.
Dude, every little thing he does when he's walking to go in the back access to get his gem back, but he just can't stop himself from hitting that dude's basketball out from under him and then taking that shot. You
Hmm.
feel it coming. You feel like you see Damani look over at him and he's got that look in his eye like now's my chance to break away. And
Yeah,
you're
fuck
just
this
like,
motherfucker.
oh God, why did you need to get that basketball, you idiot? Like nobody cares that you can make that shot or not. And
Yeah,
just could not stay focused, could not go get what he needed and do what he had to do. Like that could have all been over if he didn't have to take that stupid shot.
right, right. He could have just, yeah, we're two cool guys walking in here. Absolutely. Yeah, and then he tells him he sent me home on that fucking bus. It's like, oh, there's a whole fucking resolution of that scene we don't even see that is very unflattering. Uh, yeah, yeah, just a real fuck up, this guy. But he did make a bet that garnered him 1.2 million dollars. He knew what the fuck he was doing there. That's crazy. It's crazy.
And
Poor Arno,
so
man. Arno started that whole thing, and then you must know, right? When he spoiler alert, stop listening now if you haven't watched the movie. When he gets killed, Sandler, And then he's like, you stay right fucking there. And Arno has got to think, like, well, you're not going to leave a witness to a murder alive. Like, I'm not making it out of this fucking room. Ah, fuck, dude. It's giving me anxiety just thinking about it.
And he couldn't, you can't open the door, like you
No,
gotta,
yeah, he's got to know how that works. No, at that point, he's just in fucking flight mode, fight or flight, and he is in flight.
yeah, that was like the worst ending to like top it all off. You right before that happens, the stress is being relieved. Arno's face is like,
Yeah, he
oh,
fucking did it.
and they're both looking happy, and you're like, wow, this is actually a happy movie. This has a happy ending, and then bam,
Nope.
shoots him in the head. This is like the
No, as
most
soon as he
complex
locked him
Adam
in that
Sandler
room,
film.
yeah, as soon as he locked him in that room, it was over. He's like, oh, I've made a decision. As soon as I'm released from this room, this guy is fucking dead.
Yep.
There doesn't, yeah. That whole basketball game he had to sit through, he never once came around. It's almost like you should know that your life is going to be shortened as soon as you march on Moscow. Like, come on, man. Did you really think some shit was going to happen? Uh, what a crazy fucking turn in the
Should have
modern
just kept
world these
going.
days have.
Like,
Jesus Christ, dude.
what if the Wagner Group had kept going? Because,
I don't think it would have made a goddamn bit of difference.
well, it sounded like they had the numbers to do it, but then he just backed off.
Yep.
And then
What an
after
idiot.
that, I'm pretty sure everyone on the planet was like, well, he'll be assassinated this year.
Yep. And what do you know? August. Unless the conspiracy theorists out there, maybe it's he faked his own death. But
I mean, I hope so because hats off to him if he did.
like Marcellus Wallace in Pulp Fiction says, if he, I want a motherfucker in a bowl of rice in Indochina in case he pops up. Like that guy can't go anywhere, anywhere. No more society for him.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
Let's ask some questions. Hey, the girl gets the name Howie tattooed on her thigh. Hip hip. Uh what's the biggest fucked up tattoo you've ever seen on somebody where you thought, what a bad decision?
oh, I know what it is.
Okay.
Uh, if I say it, should I say it? It's a name. It's somebody's name.
Okay.
Okay, so
Keep it
when
vague.
I worked at Blockbuster, I think it's
Got
after
it.
you left, I worked
Okay.
with a guy
All
and
right.
he dated a girl and they
Okay.
they had a rocky relationship and they broke up and they got back together, and like a week after they got back together, she came into Blockbuster to show us all the tattoo that she got that was his name, to like profess that she will always love him the most and they should never break up again. And it was a really big name in like bold font that went like between her belly button and her crotch in a rainbow style upside down U kind of thing.
Gotcha. Yeah. I'm with you so far.
That was the
I've
worst
seen
one
it.
I'd ever seen.
No, I'm just that's
Yeah, I
dude, can
couldn't
you
remember. I'm pretty sure you were gone for that, but
probably how many?
yeah.
It'd be so interesting to talk to a tattoo artist and be like, how many names have you put on people? How many of those people do you think are still together? That is fucking crazy, dude. Oh my god. Mine is definitely I'll just name them all. Nate Hansford let my brother put like a guy in a suit of armor on his back, and Nate calls it his Power Ranger. He's got a sword up and everything. Not a great tattoo. It's definitely practice. The only
Wait,
problem is you can't.
your brother did it?
Yeah, yeah. My brother's actually decent at drawing. Was really good at drawing for quite some time. But you know, when you're trying to tattoo, it's just a little different. And yeah, Nate's got a number of tattoos. That one I think might be the most fucked up. Um, so good to know that this movie comes in number 4 on the FPMs of all time, 4.15 FPMs, just behind Wolf of Wall Street, came in at number 3. The other two are actually movies that look into the word fuck, but 4.1 FPMs.
Do you make these numbers up, or
No,
I
it's
think you
I
do?
actually took that from some trivia. No, you want to hear some made up shit? All right, here we go. No, I'm kidding. The I thought it was funny that they've got two super famous actresses as just voices on the phone. Natasha Lyonne is the one that he's telling that he's very litigious and he's about to threaten Garnett with fucking uh, with a lawsuit if he doesn't give him his gym back. That starts yelling at him and telling him he's a fucking idiot. That's
And then
Natasha
he's
Lyonne.
just
And
like,
then
never mind, bye.
yeah, yeah, when he's in the shop. Never mind. So funny, dude. The shit people like that must have to listen to every day. And then Tilda Swinton is Anne from the auction house. That's the voice you hear on the phone is Tilda Swinton. I'm telling you,
Oh,
after these guys did Good Time, like people were beating down their door. They got offered like the next Marvel movie, and they said, "Fuck that! This is the movie we want to make." I honestly don't know why this movie didn't blow up bigger. At work today, I asked the people, and there were only 4 people, but in the office, I was like, "Do you guys ever see the movie Uncut Gems?" They're like, "What? No, I don't know what that is." And I was like, "Oh my God. Why isn't this movie bigger? It's so fucking good."
did you did you watch Funny People?
Yes, more than once. I love
That was
Eric Bana.
another that was another Adam Sandler
Uh,
movie that was different than his normal, and I
oh
liked
yeah,
it more. I like him as a
yeah.
serious actor.
Oh yeah, me too. Dude, the scene where Seth Rogen is going through the songs and Adam Sandler's like talking shit about one, talking shit about two, and then he starts playing one that's actually got some substance to it and is talking about loving other people. And you see him start to have a little break and he's like, turn this shit off. I that scene sticks with me. That and Yo Teach is one of my favorite things in a movie ever is Yo Teach. This show is terrible. They're just watching it. Uh,
Yeah,
the
I
Jason
watched Funny
Schwartzman
People.
show.
I watched it for the first time. Yo teaches. I mean, when he's threatening his roommate, he's like, "I'm gonna sleep. You get how many? How many days did he give him? Like, you get 30 days, and then I sleep with her."
Right, yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
and then yeah, so funny.
and he just did. And then when he's mad at him, he's like, "You can't be mad at me. I actually gave you an extra 14 days."
Yeah.
Like, but
Yep.
I watched that movie for the first time. I think I was coming back from Colorado on the plane, and I was
Oh
like, "This is a
yeah?
good find." Yeah, this is like a good.
Fuck yeah,
Sonia
dude.
just brought it on the plane, and
Yeah.
it was really cool that she did that.
Yeah, great movie. Honestly, he's a great serious, he's not super jokey in Punch Drunk Love. He plays a guy with Asperger's who's just like falls in love with this girl. He's very quirky. That's one of my favorite performances of his. Like, yeah, no,
Hmm.
he could be a legit actor, but he's his own dude. He's his own guy, and good for him. How about some of the other people that were in this movie? Lakeith Stanfield played Damani.
Damani.
I was
I
looking
looked
at
him
his
up.
IMDb. Yeah, me too.
I mean, Get Out is kind of the only thing that I think I recognize him from. He was in Straight Outta Compton,
He
but
played Snoop Dogg in Straight Outta Compton. I found it interesting to show what I've seen, what I didn't see. So like Selma, I saw Selma. I don't remember him from that movie, but he's really good. Knives Out. You've seen Knives
Oh
Out. Maybe you
yeah,
don't
yeah.
remember him.
I don't
The TV show Atlanta, really good if you haven't seen it. It's worth a watch.
He's in Purge. He's in both the Purge movies.
Yeah, and I've never seen a Purge.
See, I don't remember him from it. I don't remember anyone from that movie, but I remember watching the movie and I remember scenes from it. And it was an interesting take on a horror flick.
Yeah, the idea is very like, oh, I get it. You immediately are like, all right, I could get it. And you get to kill him. Like, it's not doesn't sound fun, but watch out for the horde showing up. He was also in Sorry to Bother You, which I've never seen, but I feel like I should. Same thing with Judas and the Black Messiah. Should have seen that
Yeah,
movie.
I haven't
Haven't seen
seen
that
those.
movie. The remake of The Harder They Fall. Should
I
have
haven't
seen
seen
it.
any of those.
And one movie that I hadn't heard of, but now I really want to see is Izzy Gets the Fuck Across Town. Sounds good. Sounds like a good film.
It's a creative name. Creative name.
Yep, absolutely.
What
Let's talk
about
about Julia
Idina?
Fox for a minute. Oh, who? Oh,
Oh,
Idina
okay.
Menzel. She's Elsa in Frozen.
I know she did Elsa at the same time.
Yeah, good for her. I felt like
That's
when
commitment
he
right
was
there.
trying to tell her he was having serious second thoughts, and her lip is like curled up, and I'm like, oh God, dude, you really gotta have feelings for this lady to be telling her this right now, and for her to be like, you're the most annoying motherfucker ever. I don't even want to punch you in the face because I don't want to touch you. It's like, damn, laying it down. What else has she been in that you know her from? Frozen 2?
Well, what did you say? Frozen 2?
Frozen 2?
Well, she's in I didn't watch it, but the other thing she did that came out this year was the live version of Rent. And it's like, damn, you were busy. Uh yeah, the other stuff, I mean, she's in Frozen 1, Frozen 2, Frozen 3, Cinderella, Enchanted, Disenchanted, Frozen Forever, Olaf's Frozen Adventure, Once Upon a Snowman. None of my, I don't need that.
Yeah. Without kids, I hope you have not seen any of those. Yep.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you. If you were like, you know what I watched the other day is Frozen, I'd be like, are you okay? Are you all right, Russ? You going through a hard time?
Yeah, but good for her. Looks like she's doing well with the ice stuff,
Yep.
being cold.
Agreed. How about Juliet Fox? Julia Fox. Julia Gulia. How about Julia Fox?
She's
Her
got a
movie credits.
pretty short list of stuff, and
Right.
I
But you
haven't
know what
seen
she
any
does
of
have a
them.
big amount of is ass. She's got a juicy
Yes.
fucking ass. Just Jesus Christ. Wasn't blown away by her, but when they show her ass, it's like, God damn, yeah, there we go. There it is. There it is. Claim to fame. Julia Fox got a juicy booty. Made that note. Uh, Judd Hirsch, classic. Plays Gooey. I thought it was funny that that's his name is Gooey. Always look at him and think, dude, young Judd Hirsch in Taxi. Started looking up Taxi for the IMDb page, and it's like, dude, so many people went through this fucking show. Uh, Being able to work with Mary Lou Henner for a few years as well, probably pretty great for Judd Hirsch. I'd say Mary Lou
He
Henner
is
is top 15 redheads of all time, probably.
Mary Lou. I gotta. I mean, you're the expert.
Yep, I
Uh,
know you're not. I understand that. It's
she's
almost like
she looks
cannibals.
pretty. She looks kind of old now, but
Well,
yeah,
she is, but in the heyday, Mary Lou Henner was fucking drop dead gorgeous. She also is very well known for having like Perfect Recall. Like you give her a date and she can tell you what she did, what she was wearing, what other people like. She's got a perfect recall. Uh, yeah,
Judd Hirsch is
Judd
Ian
Hirsch.
Malcolm's dad in Independence Day.
He
And
sure
that's
is.
that's what's important to me about him.
Is Independence Day ID4?
Well, it's that he's Ian Malcolm's dad, which is Jurassic
Okay,
Park. So tying it all back to my favorite movie.
gotcha. Welcome to Jurassic Park. Yeah, yeah. He's pretty good in Independence Day. I don't know. I like Judd Hirsch. Super old in this. I like the little cameo of John Amos as the neighbor who's like, "Can my kid use your bathroom?" No, no. You're always playing loud music and doing coke and fucking this girl next door. Like, don't come in my house. Absolutely not.
Judd Hirsch is like between him and Dustin Hoffman, they have like the Jewish dad just nailed down
Oh
as
man, don't leave out fucking Henry Winkler, man. Which is
yeah.
crazy when you consider Henry Winkler was the Fonz. And you see him now, and it's like, dude, you are, you've come so far from the Fonz, but good for you. But at the same time, you were the coolest guy on earth for about 5 years, maybe three.
Eugene Levy too.
That's another
And
one. Yeah.
just the
Not Jewish.
way I know, but he's got that super weird dad. I'm gonna talk to you about stuff that you don't want to talk about, and it's gonna make you uncomfortable. That they always do to
That's
Jewish
American
dads.
Pie.
I
That's
know.
American Pie has put him in that role. He may actually be Jewish. I'm not sure. I was just kidding. But yeah, that's from American Pie. See, I think of him from SCTV and did all the Christopher Guest movies.
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
he's Jewish.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, duh.
I
Last
love how you
mention I've
told me
got
he's not
for
Jewish, and I was just like, okay, I was just assuming. And then I look
right.
it up, and I'm like, no, no, he is.
Yep. Last person I want to talk about who had a role in the movie, Arno, Eric Bogosian. I see him and I'm like, he's been in a ton of shit, right? Looked it up on IMDb. Yeah, he's been in a ton of shit, just little roles everywhere. But felt like he was really good. Like, wasn't super menacing. So when he has that moment at the end where he's like, oh my God, he did it. I can't believe it. It's like, oh, he may actually have some heart. But at that point, the two thugs he's hired are way out of his control. The dogs are
what
off the
about
leash.
what about Wayne Diamond? Because when I saw him, he's the really tan guy at the end. I
Oh
just
yeah,
felt like this guy must. I know that guy, but no, he's
right?
he's in
No,
nothing.
nothing else. Yeah, I know. I saw him in this, and I'm like, what else has he been in? Nothing, nothing. Yeah,
I just
but
think I've
perfect
seen
in
him in
this.
Vegas one time. Like
Oh
he
yeah,
just
right. Yeah, perfect in this fucking movie, dude. So good. Uh, yeah. All right. Well, I think we've probably covered all 2 hours of this. You got anything else you wanted to bring up about Uncut Gems?
no.
Okay.
Uncut
Well,
Uncut Gems. You saw it here. If you want to see a bunch of not so Jewish guys take off their clothes and do the helicopter, this is it. Uncut Gems.
well, no, that's Uncut Gems, Jims.
Right. That's what I said.
Right. This is gems, not gems. Can you tell the difference? I'm trying really hard. Gems, gems,
Gems.
gems. Like, subscribe.
Ash